Here are four reasons why people are poor. At the end of this discourse, you would have sustained the requisite information to change your current outlook as well as translate you from poverty to riches if engaged as well as applied, which is another parallel in and of itself. Because majority of you will sit there, agree with me cerebrally, where I agree with what you said, but not take action. Go back to Netflix. I'll do it next time. And that's why you're going to end up poor. With what I'm about to share, I want you to examine your life through this lens and see if there are keys of which you default. Number one, you don't have a goal to be wealthy. A determination is backed up or a goal or desire. You've not decided to be wealthy, which is number one. My apologies, I'm conflicting issues. So you don't have the desire or you have not decided to be wealthy. A decision is backed up by the determination to pay the price, any price upon the earth. Majority of you are wishers. Majority of you are thinkers. Majority of you want wealth for free. Everybody wants anything for free. You would receive a Toyota for free, but would you go out and buy one? Perhaps not. So raw action solves all. By raw action, I know you're about to shut off, you're about to shut down. Action, action. I don't want to take action. That's not what I mean. Action doesn't always equate hard work. As the Bible puts it, when the axe head is blunt, prepare to dissipate energy. So action is not always hard work. Sometimes it's smart work. Sometimes it's the two. So it's very contextual because we as humans are dynamic. So stop playing around with labels. Stop trying to label yourself introvert, extrovert. There are times where you want to be introverted. There are times where you want to be an extrovert. There are times where you want to be silent and just listen and absorb. So everything is contextual dependent. The point I'm trying to highlight is action solves all. Even though you were to be in the midst of Elon. Hello, Elon. I love you. I have seen all the amazing thing you've done. Here's a product. Here's a service. Here's something I want you to look at. Or I want a job. Here's something I can offer you. Yes, when he responds to your plight and gives your measly existence the time of his day, you might attribute that experience to manifestation, which is only half the work. Yes, God played a part in it. You forget that you had to offer him something. An exchange was conducted. A transaction was made. You had to exchange something, either your time or some value or product for his money. So regardless of how you look at it, action is always a necessary component as touching riches. So you must be of value. There must be something worthy of exchange in your life. Before we leave this point, there's something I want to share with you. Every single one of you, you are unique. Every single one of you have different aspects of your life, something that is valuable, but you have not yet identified it. You've not labeled it as a value. And this is the problem with most people. History is replete of individuals who trivialize what they had. Remember Gideon. Oh, I am but a child, the least man in my father's house. How dare you say I would achieve such great things? Remember the lady, the wife of the late prophet. I have nothing except a jar of oil. That product of which she trivialized not only got her out of debt, saved the lives of her two sons, she lived up the rest. It redefined her whole financial possibility from that one product. So be careful when you trivialize. Nothing except tailoring, nothing except motivating people, nothing except making people laugh. Do you know the amount of people who worry and who pay thousands of dollars to make them laugh? Do you know how much comedians get in compensation? And it might be difficult in the process of trying to believe that this is something that can translate into financial returns. I have no idea why I'm digressing, but this is not the discourse of tonight. I want you to review every single thing you've done today from your waking hours up until this point. How has it led you towards your financial goal? How has it led you towards your goal of being wealthy? Aside consuming this content, what have you done today that makes you gravitate towards your financial goals? Which leads us to number two. Majority don't have a goal to be wealthy. This is the unfortunate reality with most people. You do not have a goal to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy. How wealthy? Is it in cash? Is it in stocks? Is it in bonds? How do you diversify against systems attacks? When do you begin to have offshore accounts? Do you want to be famous like me or a man in the shadows? Do you want to be anonymous? How do you want to play the power game? Would you engage in politics? How do you start developing strategic relationships? When do you start creating offshore accounts? At what point do you introduce accountants in your life? This is the problem with most people. They don't take into consideration the byproduct of wealth. This idea that you have millions of dollars in the bank and have zero responsibilities is a fallacy. With wealth comes responsibility, no matter how you try to ignore it. Responsibility comes with wealth. Are you ready for the fake friends, the fake women? Oh, let's get married. I love you. You're ambitious. Let's get married. And after a while, I hate you. I want to steal your house. I want to rinse you and take all your money because you're too focused on work. Well, bitch, if you wasn't focused on work, there wouldn't be a house to steal in the first place. What is wrong with these people? So there are various aspects, there are various things you need to take into account when it comes to wealth and abundance. Again, majority have zero targets, zero idea, zero goals. There was a story of an archer who, after days of training, he was always missing. And he went to meet this grandmaster. He said, I've been trying since morning, hours turned into days, days into weeks, yet I don't seem to hit. The grandmaster smiled. What have you been aiming at? Nothing, he said. Already, the master had identified the problem, the root cause of his frustration. Son, have a target and try again. He adhered to the instruction and finally he hit the target. It's the same thing with most of you. There's no goal to be wealthy. You just love the idea of having money, not taking into account the byproduct. Wealthy people are evil. I hate them. I sent this billionaire a text and he didn't respond. Do you believe you're the only person texting him? What happens when you receive a text from 2,000 people saying, please, sir, I'm hungry, give me a job? How do you help all those people? There are some things you do not learn except by experience. I had the opportunity to go through my dad's phone one time and I saw at least 50 SMS of people begging for alms. How does he respond to all those people? Now, if he responds to one or helps as much people as he can accommodate without hurting us as a byproduct, which is a different discourse in and of itself, the people whom he didn't help would inevitably be disgruntled. He helped that guy, he didn't help me. Always have a goal to be wealthy. The third is you lack the understanding of the formula that brings about wealth and abundance. This is a very important one. This is a very important one. Everything is cause and effect. Success is an equation. The exact things of which you do that will bring about financial abundance, financial success. The same way you do 1 plus 1 equals to 2, your arithmetics, your basic multiplication, and with digital precision, you know the answer. It's the same way with success. It's time to stop freelancing your way and beating around, hoping it would happen. There are exact things of which you can do to realize success. One of them is listening to men who have achieved that which you desire. We live in a world of men, and there are people who have gone through the exact same experience, the exact same problems of which you've undergone, and they are benevolent enough to jot down their scars, their pains, and all their mistakes. It is your duty to go and archive those information, put it into practice, and produce results. As simple as it is. Now I can increase my watch time hour with a lot of anecdotes, with a lot of quotes, with a lot of stories that will keep you engaged. But it all boils down to this one point. Read books, listen to people, model after the individuals who have achieved the results you desire. The Bible famously puts it that there is nothing new under the sun. And this is true. There is nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So, friends, that's number 3. If you think I'm going to be specific and give you an outlet, you're fucking out of your mind. Go hunt for the information yourself. The last but not the least, lack of the mental transition from poverty to riches. I cannot emphasize this point enough. I cannot emphasize this point enough. Everything begins and ends with the mind. Everything begins and ends with the mind. Remember the story. The people who were about to build a tower that will reach the heaven. They were only communicating an idea. Go to, let us build a city and a tower that will reach the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves. The people only agreed to the proposition. But here's how God interpreted it. He said nothing will be restrained from them, or nothing will be restrained from them which they have built. So that thing that was already built was from the realm of the mind. Build your company here. Build your organization here. Do not wait for external things to define you. Everything begins and ends with the mind. To the degree of which you are expanded is directly proportional to the blessings you can hold. The degree of which you are expanded is parallel to the blessings you can withhold. The problem was not the oil. The problem was that the vessel hosting it was very small. Elijah gave a recommendation that is applicable to us even now. Borrow vessels. Borrow not a few. You don't need to borrow oil. Borrow vessels. And when there was no more vessels, the oil stopped flowing. God wants to lift you, but the vessel, you are too small. Blessing you at that level will be a waste. When you take a cup and you pour water into it, water will only be filled to the size of the cup. every other thing becomes a waste. If you take that same cup outside and it rains from dusk to dawn, if we are to judge the rain by the size of your cup, we would say it only drizzled, whereas it was a dew of heaven. It's just that your cup isn't an accurate representation of what happened. You now see the problem is not the clothes. The problem is not your parents you've been blaming. The problem isn't what you said the problem is. Problem is, for the sake of time, we'll keep it here. As always, my friends, pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you when?